Hello, good evening to you all. Today is our day 18 of this 3-month data analytics bootcamp. Like I said, this bootcamp will last for about 3 months, and today is our day 18. So, like always, we start by showing our outlines. That is what we are to cover for the day. So, today we are going to have a recap on day 17, and then we'll talk about text to column concatenate, and then we'll have question and answer conclusion, and we call it a day. So um yesterday we discussed about proper, upper, lower, trim, and length. That's what we discussed yesterday. And today we'll look at text to column and concatenate. These are like opposite things in Excel. Concatenate is a function, while text to column is just a process that will enable you to separate text that are within uh, cell. So you separate them into different things. So that what a text to column did. While concatenate is to put two or more cells in one cell. So text to column is to separate the text across multiple or different cells, while concatenate is to put them together and join them together. That's what we are going to learn today. So let's go and see what how to use these two things. Okay, I'm sharing back my screen, and we are going to look at this. So this is the data that we have. For example, is the data that has full name of people, and for text to column, I told you is to separate things that are within the cell into different cells. So let's say, for example, we want this data of full name, we want it to be separate. Maybe we want to create first name, want to create first name, surname, and other name. Maybe that's what we want to create. So instead of us to, we wanted this data to be separated across this because we want it to be first name, second name, surname, other name. We don't want it as full name the way it comes, because most of the time this is what is happening to a lot of data. So data will come with full name, but you don't want it in full name. You want it to be in separate. That is the first name, surname, and other name. So how do you do that? You do it by using text to column to do that. First of all, this data is a very long list of people. It's about 2,822 people. If we are to separate this data one after the other, this will take you at least minimum of maybe 24 hours or more than 24 hours doing that, even if you are past enough to do it. So we are going to use text to column for that. So what you need to is to highlight everything. So, so what you need to is to highlight everything. When you highlight it, just go to data, hover to data. So under data, you are going to see text to column here. Just click on it. You are definitely going to see it like this. Even if you didn't see, you will see this sign like this, but you will see text to column in all the version of Microsoft Excel is there. Then you click on this delimited. So there are two ways of doing this text to column. We have the delimited, and we also have the fixed width. Normally, let me explain this fixed width, because we are not going to use it, but let me explain this width. For the fixed width, if you want to use it, it means that maybe this data has the same values, the same characters, the same everything, or they have the same initials or something. So you want to cut, maybe you want to cut across something that maybe separated the data. Maybe you want to cut three characters, four characters, five characters, or something like that that you want to separate from there. So you use this fixed width for that. So if I click on this picture, I press next. So it will ask me to select the width that I want to separate. So maybe I can click on this. When you click on it, it's going to create a line between all the first three characters. So if you scroll down, you see that all okay. You see that all the three uh characters here are just separated. And if I want to cut another one to put another width, I can come here and select here. I can come here. Just you can put all this width across to separate all this. So all where I put this width is going to separate it into different columns for us. So when you click next, you finish it. But I'm going to show you how to finish it because we are not using fixed width. This data, you cannot use fixed width for it. You use delimited area, something that has to do with this. So when you click on next, it will ask you for the separator, or that is the delimiter. So what is the delimiter? That is something that separates this data, which you want to use that as something to separate the data into different columns. So there are many of them. There is tab, semicolon, comma, space, and other. This other, it means any character that is not specified out of this is the delimiter that you are going to use. Some data, you're going to see some data that underscore is what separated the data. So for example, this is Salihu Rilwanu. So there will be an underscore between Salihu and Rilwanu. So it can be Salihu underscore Rilwanu. So when you click on this order, then you put the underscore here. Sometimes it can be a comma, it can be a question mark, it can be a asterisk, it can be a plus sign. Anything that separate them, and when you want to separate them, you use it as the delimiter so that you separate the data. So now when we have this data is a space, so we need to click on space. So once you click on space, you see it separate the data into three columns. So now we have this, we have this, we have this. That means we have first name, surname, and other name. So that's what this means. So then we click on next. So now when we click on this, the next thing we are going to do is to select where we want the destination to be. So all you need to is to don't just click on this destination and delete this and click on where first name started. Just leave it like that. Don't touch anything. So that's the only thing. Just click on it. And once you did that, you are okay. So the next thing you need to click on is finish. Just click on finish and it will definitely separate the data for you into three columns. Now we have Salihu, Rilwanu, but wherever we have three names, we are going to have three names. Where we have two names, it will stop at two names. So if you scroll, you will have three names somewhere. You have two names, but there are some people that you will see. It's not even two names as it is because of this issue, which of course, if I show you concatenate, you will learn how to concatenate that. Because this is because of this Serikim Urmi, that because of that space that we have. That's why this only person has, and other people you see, K Ganwa, Korenganwa, and other things, they have, other names that is not more than, that are more than, the other name that we have. So I can even come here and add another one last name. So since we have other people that because of that, maybe it's the name of their city or the name of this, there is a space there. That why we have another thing else. So this is how to create that issue of text to column. So now you separate it. But let me tell you this, in issue of all this, especially when you have a data like this, you need to concat anything other name and what this last name, you need to concat them together. So you need to put them together. So like this, you need to come here and wherever you have this issue, you concat them together. And then when you put them together, then you have first name, surname, and other name. Because you not see this last name. Normally you will see last name as other name somewhere or something like that. It should not be for like this, the way you saw it here. Okay. So now let's look at the concatenates. How are we going to concat this data so that we can put all this together? So let's look at that. So what we are going to do, I'm going to create a separate column here and I'll call the column as last name. Let me call it full name, sorry. So now, for example, I want to have the full name of everything in one place. So all this, let's say we have four data like this, and we want to put them together to have a complete data. So sometimes data will come to you in first name, surname, other name, and you'll be asked to put everything together. How can you do that? That's using concatenate. And concatenate, like I told you, is to put two or more text in Excel from different cells in one cell. So that's what it is. So what you are going to say is to say concat. So you can call it concatenate or concat. So for the concat is the updated version of the formula, while concatenate is the old version of the formula. So those that are using previous version of 2010, 2007, 2003, even 2016, you will see concatenate. But if you are using latest version like mine 365 or you are using 2019, then you are using concat. You can use concat instead of concatenate. So we are using concatenate since it's the one that everyone will have in his version. So you can write concat or concatenate is all the same. So the first thing you are going to do in this concat is to click on the first name that you want to add together. So you need to arrange the names the way you want them to be. Maybe this is supposed to be a first name, or maybe this or whatever. So you select it the way you want it to be. So when you put this, you put comma. The next thing is for you to select this full name, but don't select the surname. You need to put space between this first name and the surname. So because there has to be a delimiter between the names. But if you just concat this together, let me just put it together and close the bracket, press enter. You see, to just put the two names together for me without space. You see, there is no space. It just put Sally Huril one, just there is no space between the two. So, but we need a space. So let me just add it again, concat. Then what I'm going to do is click on this. That is to put the C2, comma. Then you put double quote and put space inside the double quote and close the double quote. Don't put anything. Just put a space because a space is a character. In computer is always recognizing a space as a character. That's why space has its own bit. So you see, space has its own bit or space that it occupies within a computer. So it's a character as far as computer is concerned. Okay. Like I was saying, space is a character as far as computer is concerned. So you need to put it inside double quote the way I told you when we are treating if and other if functions. The way I told you, you treat them whenever you are passing a string data type, you need to put it inside double quote. So space also is recognized as that. So you put this space like this, then you put comma. It means we have a space between these two. Then you click the next one, you put comma and you put another space because we are adding another name. Then you put comma after that space. Then you click the other name. Don't worry whether the person has other name or the person doesn't. Don't mind that. Just put it and put comma and put another space because we know there are people that have even last name and apart from other name. Then I put comma. Then I will click on the last name. Then now I close everything. I don't need to put any space after the last one. Then I'll close it and press enter. So it will put everything for us together. All you need to is to just click it there or just scroll it down. So I'm just holding my scroll because it's a very, very long list, about 2080 something people. So here it is. I just release it. So sorry. Here it is. And that's it. So now it will show this to us and we are done. So you see, now we put everything together. So including of those people that have this the four names in there. This you see this person with Serikim Bumi, and we still have the same person here with that. So the name now is here. But there are two things that we need to do in this. I told you need to copy and paste special in all this because now if I delete the main list, if I delete it, everything will be gone. Sorry. Okay, it's because of this text to column. If I delete this main list, sorry, not for the text to column. If I delete this one, maybe I delete it, everything will be gone because that's what I use to put the full name. So that's what I use. So what you are going to do is copy everything. I'll go back up and just click on the first one, right click and go to first paste, click on values, then click on this. Now we have the data and we get rid of the formula. So even if we delete this one, now I can highlight it and delete it, then we are okay. Then our full name will stay where it is. But now there is one issue related to this data. There is one issue. Let me bring back that data and show you one issue. And this is just a bonus for me to teach you something so that you will learn how to do that. So I'll call this learn. So let me show you something. There is something. I'm going to say equals to learn open bracket. I'll get the number of characters that we have here. So I will do it across everybody. And here also I'm going to apply that learn here. Then I'm going to say learn open bracket and press enter. And I'm going to do it the same way the way I did it here. So let me do something. Let me highlight this. Let me hide this. Let me hide this to show you something. You see, here we have 14 characters in this silo reel 1. Here we have 16 characters. Here we have 12. Here we have 14. Here we have 15. Here we have 6, 17, 14, 16, 20, 21, 20, 21, 11, 12. Why? Is because of that extra spaces that we put in that concatenate. Any name that stop at first name and last name. So the other first name and surname, the space that we put for the other name and the space we put for the last name, they are going to be added across all the data. So that way we'll have extra two spaces in this. And one thing about this, what people didn't know, this is what will make your file to be big file and to take a lot of space in your system. That why that trim function that we treated yesterday is very important for you to get rid of that extra, because that extra space will add more to some KB, some MB, some gig, to add a lot of things to your data, especially if you are using if you are dealing with a very big data. You need to make sure you take that space away. And that's why you see when we are going to learn SQL, when we started treating SQL, you see the difference between using variable character and using character. That is the varchar and char. There is difference between the two. One will have extra spaces, will take the extra space, or will fill the number of characters you specify with extra spaces, while the other will not do that for you. And allowing the SQL server to fill that server or to fill your database with extra spaces, it will make your database to be very heavy. In as much as people are sending data, people are using it, it's going to take a lot of space on your data. So that's one thing about that. But yeah, we'll look at that. So now what we are going to do is to use trim to remove these extra spaces. That's what we are going to do. So we are going to say trim. I'll teach you what trim is all about. Just trim the data. So now after trimming the data, so I can use len again. I can use len again. If I use len again now to see the number of characters per each of the data, now it will turn to the original number of characters that we have, which is 14 here, 14 here, 14 here, 14, 12 here, 12 here, 15 here, 15 here, like that. So now we get rid of the extra spaces. And this is how you clean data and you make your data looks clean, okay, all before you even start analyzing of the data. So please, you should all understand this and it will help you one day. So this is where we are going to draw the curtain. If you have any question, go ahead and ask. If you don't have any question, then we call it a day and see you tomorrow. If you have any question, go ahead and ask. If you don't, we call it a day. No, there is no correction. I didn't say there is a correction. And even yesterday, I talked about that. Why are you asking me today? I talk about your assignment. I talked about it yesterday. I say if we have the time, I'll ask Ahmed if he has the time to even solve your assignment and we share the link with you to watch it. But I didn't say that we promise you to do it. We have a lot of things to do. So I'm not saying we are going to solve the assignment for you. But I told you yesterday we discussed about this, and I said that if we have the time, and I'm not going to do it, I'm not the one to do it. I will ask somebody to solve it for you, and we share the video with you to watch and see where you made mistake and the rest. Yeah, you can concat anything. In as much as it's in Excel, you can concat anything. Okay, sorry. I'm sharing my screen, it's my network, so let me come back. Yeah, someone was asking, can we concat figures? Yes, you can concat anything in Excel. Anything you can concat it in Excel. If you have any question, please drop your question. If you don't, we are going to call it a day. Okay, so in the absence of any question from anyone, we are going to call it a day and see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful dream. Bye bye.